Hey, good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching me. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. So, today, or whenever you're watching this, today is October the 8th. Tomorrow, October 9th, is our big annual Oktoberfest where we raise funds for our Meals on Wheels program, which is feeding homebound seniors. Tomorrow's a big day, and I'll be darned if the weather is going to interfere. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about grandparents and grandchildren today. And again, part of these conversations that we have every week are always from seniors who I've talked to, talking to other people, and just things that really always resonate and ring a bell with me. And so I always like to reminisce because that's what us old people do is we reminisce. But I can remember as a kid where my mom would always say stuff like, "You need to call your grandparents," and it was always a treat for us. And I think with technology and so forth that we've really gotten away from the uh, oratory, the speaking to our grandparents. We see it all the time. Our communication, for the most part, now is all about texting. We barely talk and engage. Well, we're always so busy. Oh, yeah, we've talked about that in the past too, and that's one of the words I want to ban from our vocabulary. Busy. Yeah, we're busy, all right. But okay, I digressed. So, the communication part of our seniors is so fundamentally physical, emotional, spiritual that I think today's younger people really don't understand the impact that it really does for one's soul who is older and even younger. We're really, really disconnecting from the intergenerational conversation. And so today I just want to talk about some of the impacts and the things that I see and what that really means to an older person. How great it is when someone will stop me and say, "Oh, my daughter called me the other day," and uh, and they get so excited over a phone call that only lasts minutes. And I can relate to that. When my daughter, sons call me, yeah, it's a big deal. I like it. Well, you should be, sometimes the younger people will say, well, they should be calling me too. Yeah, I'm not excusing that, but it probably just goes even further back of the hierarchy of respecting your elders, and so I always felt, and the way I was raised is, you call your grandparents, you call your elders, and well, they're just sitting around doing nothing, and I'm busy, and they can call me, and see, there's part of the problem is older people don't want to bother their kids because they are so busy, and 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 again, it's sometimes challenging, but I know that for me personally, it brightens my day when my kids calls me and just says, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" or "Pops," or my daughter calls me Padre, and so it's just those kind of things, and even to hear from the grandkids is just, yeah, it just puts you over the moon. But I think it's really hard. Looking to what it means to be a grandparent. So, we're parents, we have kids, and we're so consumed by our own children that I think we lose sight of the impact of being a grandparent is because we're so consumed with taking care of our kids. And so we kind of lose sight of our moms and dads out there because we're taking care of our kids. And then when our kids have kids, for me, and I've heard it many, many times, that when you become a grandparent, something chemical, magical happens to you because to this day, it's euphoric to be a grandparent. It's just so, I don't know. Maybe it's part of wanting to spoil your grandkids because maybe you didn't spoil your own kids, so you spoil your and maybe it's like a second chance. I don't know what it is. I have all kinds of theories on why it happens. And for the most part, it happens all the time with grandparents when their kids have kids, and maybe it's God's way of second chances. I don't know. What do I know? But it's and so sometimes getting kids to understand the importance of their children and what they mean as grandchildren to their parents, you can't. It's hard to comprehend because I didn't comprehend how important we were to my grandparents. And now as I get older, man, they now I know why and how much they loved us. And I always tell the story. I remember the one time, I don't even know, maybe I was 12, or I don't even know how old I was, probably that. And we were visiting my grandparents down in Virginia. And I remember leaving, and as we were leaving, back then we didn't wear seatbelts, and we're all waving out the back window, and I saw my grandma cry. I never saw my grandma cry. And, here I am, 30 years old now. Okay, here I am, many, many years, and that image is burned into my consciousness. I remember my grandma crying, and I remember asking my mom, I said, "Why is grandma crying?" And she said, "Because she loves you so much and she misses you." And I just couldn't get that. And now as a grandparent, oh, I get that. I miss my grandkids all the time. In fact, a couple of my grandkids are getting to those teenage years, and how much they mean to your heart and to your soul. So if you're a mom or a dad out there and you have children, help them to connect with your parents. And I know so many people have issues with their moms and their dads, but it's really not about you and your relationship with your mom and dad. Allow your children to develop relationships with your parents, and even relationships in my life. It's I always kept those relationships separate so that my children could know who their grandparents were, who their aunts and uncles were, and the importance of that relationship. And again, I think part of it helps us as we get to the grandparenting years of remembering as a child the importance of what grandparents are. So in your busy lives and busy worlds, take some time to really be a great parent who encourages and helps to foster a great relationship with grandchildren and grandparents. I've seen too many times where people are in their last moment of life. And sometimes people will live with regrets and this, that, and the other thing. And so many people, it's always about their grandchildren. It's always about their grandchildren. I wish I had a better relationship. I wish they called me. I wish I could see them more. And 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 it's really important. And I am speaking from my heart of how important grandchildren are, and your own children. Of course, your old children will always be there, but there's just something magical about grandchildren. And so, again, sometimes for you parents, and I'm speaking as one, sometimes it was hard when I look back raising my children to make sure that they engaged with their grandparents and to call them or drop them a card. And, again, you're dealing with a generation of people who, we didn't text, or, we wrote letters and wrote cards. And, I can't tell you what it's like even getting a card in the mail or something where, thanks, Grandpa, for the money or the candy or whatever. And it's just, wow, their parents took the time to tell their kids to send a letter or send a note or whatever the case may be. So this weekend, how about picking up the phone, calling your kids, have your grandkids call their grandparents. Take the time. It's only a couple of minutes, and I guarantee you that you will be overfilling the bank of love for those older people. So have a wonderful day. Enjoy fall. I'll see you next time. This has just been Rich. Rich saying peace